I mean this in the least offensive way, but some people are just so dumb.
North Carolina influencer Brene Kennard was ordered to pay $1.75 million after she was liable of ruining a marriage.
We're gonna eat this. It's me and this guy laying on the ground right here. Hello? He doesn't want to talk.
Hey guys, I just lost my job. And they won't tell me why.
This flip the camera trend is the most degrading trend that's ever been on TikTok.
Has anyone noticed that it seems like people don't know how to act anymore? Is it just me, or do you guys ever have a moment where you just flash back to some completely random moment in your life? Like maybe one day you're just doing the dishes or doom scrolling through the depths of TikTok, and all of a sudden you're hit with a memory that you haven't thought about in years. Something that's totally irrelevant to your life and really something that your brain had no reason to show you. It just showed it to you for some reason. It kind of reminds me of that one scene from SpongeBob where we see inside of his head and there's a bunch of other SpongeBobs running around, and overall it's just a really big mess. I just remember that scene gave me anxiety for some reason. It was just a really crazy moment in SpongeBob. Anyways, this type of flashback happened to me the other day. I was just sitting on the couch watching some random YouTube videos, and all of a sudden I was brought back to a random moment from a few years ago when I was in middle school. I don't know why my brain decided to pull this memory out of the archives, but I remember a couple of years ago when I was in middle school, lunch had just ended and I was walking to class. I was minding my own business, navigating through the stampede of people, but then I felt something hit my foot from behind. Somebody had swiped my foot with their foot and it had caused me to trip. I turned around and saw these two twins, which I had never talked to before. I barely knew who they were. The only reason I even had an inkling of who they were is because they were kind of known as the school supervillains, but not like the good kind. They were like the goofy kind that everybody makes fun of for how goofy supervillainy they are. You know how in Batman there's the Joker, but if there's ever like an off-brand version of him that just looks really dumb and really goofy, they call him the Jonkler? Well, these kids were the Jonklers of my school. That is maybe the weirdest sentence I've ever said. Anyways, I turned around and they were making the type of face you make when you prank someone really good, I guess. They were doing this. Ooh. And as this memory randomly floated through my head like an astronaut in the ocean, I realized something. This moment was a sign of things to come for our culture. If you've been on the internet lately, you've probably been plagued with some kind of video of someone doing something really dumb, and it just makes you mad, especially when it seems like they have no remorse and they just wanted to watch the world burn. For example, a couple of days ago, I was scrolling through the deep, dark depths of TikTok, also known as my For You page, and I stumbled across an account called I'm Not a Lawyer, But, and she was talking about the Brene Kennard situation.
This is Brene Kennard, and she's a TikTok influencer currently being sued for sleeping with her friend's husband. And in May of 2021, she married this man whose name is Devin. Brene and Devin live in North Carolina, and they spent a ton of time hanging out with Devin's cousin Tim and Tim's wife Akira. Brene and Devin, Tim and Akira. So these two couples hang out, they go on double dates, make social media videos together, go to birthday parties, basketball games, baseball games, all the couple things. Until in January of 2024, Akira discovers a video of Brene, her friend, and Tim, her husband, talking about things that they've done together. And yes, earlier I said Tim and Devin were cousins, so that would mean that Tim slept with his cousin's wife.
Now I saw this and I was just absolutely befuddled to the max. Like, this is peak tomfoolery. Just from the little we've heard so far, I'm immediately questioning what's going on here. I'm hooked, I'm confused. Everything is just a jumbled mess. My point is, I'm a little befuddled again. I'm double befuddled. I'm immediately trying to figure out why Brene here slept with her friend's husband. And to make it worse, the guy she cheated with, Tim, is her husband's cousin. Cheating in itself is already so awful, but we're talking about Tim getting with his cousin's wife. It's not like this is some random dude who lives 2 states over, has no social media, and sells radioactive bombs to children so you can easily forget who he is. He's his literal cousin, someone he's probably grown up with, someone he probably spends a lot of time with. I can't even imagine what Thanksgiving is gonna be like for this family now. And oh man, if the person who's responsible for the Thanksgiving seating chart hasn't heard about this whole debacle, they could accidentally see Tim and Devin together and things could get very awkward. Imagine Devin is reaching for some turkey, then at the same time, Tim is also reaching for turkey, and then their hands touch. Devin then looks up at Tim with these glossy eyes and says,
"Go ahead and take it, Tim. It's not the first time you would have stolen something from me."
What do you even do in a situation like that? Anyways, from what we've heard so far, this is already pretty crazy. But then some more happens that really makes me double question if people know how to act.
After all of this is discovered, Tim and Brene move out of the homes that they share with their spouses and into a home together.
For all who don't know, me and Devin are divorced. And another that's not a good thing, but another thing, your girl is moving.
I'm going to show more in a minute, but I just want to point out how she said another good thing happened when she was talking about how her and Devin got divorced.
And another that's not a good thing, but another thing.
Which, yes, she did correct herself, but the fact that she left it in is crazy. Like, while recording this, she accidentally calls her divorce a good thing, seemingly not mentioning that the divorce was caused by her tomfoolery. And then when she gets done with her little TikTok, she doesn't think that maybe she should edit out that section or re-record it. She doesn't seem to think that that's kind of not a great thing to leave in there. Like, I don't know. Given the situation, all things considered, it seems like maybe you should have thought about cutting that out or re-recording it. It seems a little tone deaf that you left it in, or lazy, one of the two. But not only that, she then publicly announces that she's moving in with Tim, the person she cheated on her husband with. And call me crazy, but I feel like it's kind of common sense that you shouldn't be announcing these kind of things. I don't know, it's things like that that really make me believe that people just don't know how to act anymore. And you know what? Let me put on my boomer hat here for a second, okay? I'm putting on the little boom boom hat because I kind of feel like social media has something to do with it. But it only gets worse. Akira, who is the wife of Tim, then sues Brene for causing Tim and Akira to divorce, which it's illegal to cause people to get divorced in North Carolina, so that's why she's able to sue. And I don't want to go through all of the details of the lawsuit because I am not a lawyer channel. Surprisingly enough, I know you're shocked, but there is something that stood out to me. Like, I saw this and I could not believe that someone would be this problematic.
Akira also says the fact that the two of them are flaunting this relationship all over the internet.
Oh, I thought the music was gonna play.
No, you gotta just do it. Just once.
Only adds to the humiliation and mental anguish that Akira is already suffering, and so she wants Brene to pay.
So hold on a minute. Not only did Brene and Tim get together, each cheating on their spouses, with Tim sleeping with his cousin's wife, then not only did Brene start posting about it and then move in with Tim, but then Tim and Brene become little TikTok buddies and they start posting TikToks together. You could tell me this whole situation and you could say it's a part of some fictional book that you're writing, and I would look you dead in the eyes and I would say,
come on, man. Nobody would act that dumb.
But here we are. You could even tell me that this happened in some magical world. Like maybe they're making a new Lord of the Rings and then you say this is part of the plot and then you say magic is the reason that everybody is acting so dumb. I would just look directly into your soul and say,
unless that spell is called Abra Low IQ Kadabra, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
And I don't know if people have always acted this dumb or it's just more out in the open now, but I feel like I cannot believe some of the stuff I'm seeing. I would be lying right to your face if I said situations like this rarely happen. If I told you that, I think you could legally sue me for violence because of how egregious of a lie that is. Honestly, it seems like things like this are happening all the time, and because of social media, we're seeing it a whole lot more. I think a great example of social media highlighting the fact that people just don't seem like they know how to act anymore is this next trend I'm gonna show you, which I don't know if you could even call it a trend. I mean, I guess it's a trend, whatever, it's a trend. Secretly recording people. Recording people without them knowing isn't anything new. Like in the old days of YouTube, people would make prank videos all the time where they recorded people secretly. Like, does anyone remember that Sam Pepper prank video where he kidnapped his friend and it was actually awful?
Let's see how he reacts to his best friend of 5 years being killed in front of him.
Because it pretty much wasn't a prank. Does anyone remember that? Is it just me? Anyways. But now it seems like secretly recording people has been taken to a whole new level with things like TikTok, the whole DoorDash girl situation, the new Meta glasses with a camera in them, and overall just a whole general lack of awareness. A little while ago, there was actually a controversy with an influencer named Elizabeth Eats NYC, and she went viral for not only secretly recording people, but acting in a way that gives me secondhand embarrassment to the absolute max.
Sushi burrito! We're gonna eat this. It's me and this guy laying on the ground right here. Hello? He doesn't want to talk. He's watching TikTok. Hello? Do you speak English? Oh, you're on the phone. Can I say hi? Hello? Sometimes I feel like staring down my drink makes it come out faster. I'm getting oysters right now. I'm so excited.
I can't be the only person that felt a massive ball of cosmic embarrassment form in their chest from watching this. I mean, I definitely admire when people don't care what other people think, but I think in some situations, maybe we should care a little bit more. Specifically, if they're thinking that you're making them a little bit uncomfortable. I mean, the first shots aren't too bad. She's just waving around whatever that is. giving it a little shaky shake as she walks around. At least she's not directly bothering anyone though, even though she's still secretly recording them, which let me say, that's pretty sucky for these people, especially this guy. This guy is now going to forever be etched in the history as the guy who guest starred in Elizabeth Eats NYC's burrito shaking video. That's a fate I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. But after that, it goes downhill pretty quickly. I mean, she bothers this one guy who's laying on the ground, just minding his own business, just watching TikToks, and it's pretty clear that this guy didn't want to talk, but she keeps on bothering him anyways. Also, not to be that guy, but is it fair to say that this guy is laying in a very weird spot? It's right next to a table where people eat, specifically right next to a chair. So if you roll up with a party of 4, somebody's gonna get an extra side of bare feet with their meal. After that, she then goes up to people who I guess don't speak English and just starts talking to them and probably makes them feel a bit uneasy. Like this guy who's on the phone and then she just says hi to whoever he's talking to. Then this clip of this lady with the tattoo, this thumbs up that looks like it's from that one meme. And there's only one word I can think of to describe interactions like this, and I only reserve this word for the worst of the worst, and that is cringe. I'm literally, and I mean literally, getting secondhand cyber embarrassment from watching this. But it doesn't stop there. If we're gonna talk about not knowing how to act, then I would be more silly than a king's jester if I didn't talk about prank content. And I put prank in quotations because I think we're getting very loose with what we're calling pranks. Specifically, what comes to mind is Heston Cobb, who is known for being an absolute menace.
Tyler, get your over here!
What? Because you're screaming my name and I don't like it.
I wasn't screaming your name.
Tyler!
Don't call your name.
I'm gonna investigate the
Me? I was near Tyler when it happened. Crazy. Okay, see? Don't sit here and blame someone if you don't know for sure. At least get an apology for that?
I apologize if it wasn't.
Okay, well, just come on, dude. That's ridiculous.
So the prank here is that Heston Cobb and his friends are going into a store, they're screaming and just overall causing an absolute ruckus. And not only are these guys going around yelling at the top of their lungs, confusing Tyler and yelling his name when he's made it clear that he doesn't like when they yell his name. He made it clear. Tyler doesn't like when people yell his name. Not only that, but then Heston Cobb asks this guy for an apology, which is crazy work. I do like this guy's response though, because he said,
at least get an apology for that?
I apologize if it wasn't.
There's also a few other pranks Heston Cobb has done, most of which just consist of him being a delinquent, and eventually he was arrested. And if he's convicted, he can get over 9 years in jail, which is pretty crazy. I guess maybe the judge might just pull a little prank by giving him a decade in jail. And on the topic of pranks, there's a trend going around where the whole premise of it is that you ask someone to record you, then you secretly start recording them, and some could argue that it's just a form of bullying. And I'm of course talking about the camera flip trend, which I don't want to spend too much time on this because I made a whole video on it, but this is what I'm talking about. Basically, the whole idea of the trend is you just ask someone to record you, then you do a little dance, and then you secretly flip the camera to show the person who's recording you. Pretty much seemingly just being a way to indirectly make fun of someone who's trying to help you. And it's pretty unfortunate because many of these people just seem so nice, and now they're being made fun of for the whole internet to see. And I'd give this trend a 0 out of 10 because it makes me feel like I don't want to trust anybody ever again. Trust is all gone. If a stranger comes up to me and asks me if I can take a picture of them, they're canceled forever. Speaking of things that get posted on the internet because people don't know how to act, let's talk about this whole DoorDash girl situation. If you don't know what happened with DoorDash girl, basically she was delivering an order to someone. She was asked to leave the order outside, but didn't do that and instead opened the door and looked inside the home, and then this is what happened. It may be hard to tell what happened here because I blurred it out. It wasn't blurred in the original video, but this guy was caught in kind of a compromising situation. You could say that places were showing where the sun don't shine. And this girl here recorded it and then posted it online. So just to recap, she was told to leave the food outside, but then she got there and opened the door and recorded this guy in his private quarters. Then she posted it on TikTok for everybody and their grandmas and their pet rocks to see. And I feel like you don't have to have a TikTok university law degree to see that that may be not such a great thing to do. Last time I checked, we don't just go into people's homes and secretly record them, but maybe I'm just old-fashioned. After posting this video though, she then followed it up with this one.
Hey guys, so DoorDash just deactivated me 2 days after I reported my sexual assault. Hey guys, I just lost my job. And they won't tell me why. I was working. I was literally working. And they deactivated me. This is related. They just punished me for posting about my sexual assault while door dashing. They just fired me. And the police are doing nothing. I lost my job, and that was my only way to make money to pay my bills.
I do think that overall this is a very unfortunate situation for everybody involved, but am I the only one who finds it kind of crazy that she entered this guy's home against his wishes, recorded him, got fired for doing that, and then played the victim card? Is it just me, or is that like another level of obliviousness? That's like if I broke into a museum, secretly took a picture of a security guard with an electric baton, and then claimed that I was a victim of assault. Like in my brain, that just doesn't really make sense. Is that wrong to think? Like, please let me know, comment below. I wanna hear your thoughts on this. Am I thinking about this wrong? Please comment below. The thing is though, I guess the police kind of saw it the same way as I did because she got into a little bit of trouble with the law.
We have a huge update on DoorDash girl. She has been arrested. In the newest update, she has been arrested. It says that she was arrested on November 10th, 2025, and that the incident was on October 12th, 2025. So what are her charges? Count 1 is dissemination of surveillance images, and count 2 is unlawful surveillance. She's basically being charged for secretly recording someone and then distributing it by posting it online. Her next court appearance is scheduled for December 4th, 2025, so let me know your thoughts down below.
Yeah, so basically to sum all that up, she was in the wrong. It's just absolutely bonkers to me that we live in a world where people do this kind of thing and have no issue posting it online. It seems like there's been such a normalization of questionable behavior, and I'm not entirely sure where it comes from. But my go-to move is to blame it on social media, which, by the way, speaking of social media, it seems like a lot of people are saying that Gen Z has no personality, which is another thing that seems like it kind of just came out of nowhere. But I talk about that more in this video right here, so go ahead and check that out. But other than that, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.